Welcome to your daily writing habit, episode number 175. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book and you're having some trouble finishing it or even promoting it or marketing it, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., I-N-K, like the stuff you write with. Each day I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn someone who doesn't really necessarily consider themselves a writer into one. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. Hope lies in dreams, in imagination, and in the courage of those who dare to make dreams into reality. Jonas Salk. Today, let's talk about creativity versus imagination. Now, these are two words that I often hear used interchangeably. So, out of curiosity, I decided to put some thought into their distinctions. So, whether you agree or disagree with my distinctions, here's what I've come up with. First, let's start with the official definitions, by the people who make up the definitions. Creativity, quote unquote, from the dictionary, the use of the imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of an artistic work. Imagination's definition, the faculty or action of forming new ideas or images or concepts of external objects not present to the senses. All right, is everybody creatively fired up based on those very formal definitions? So here's how I like to think of it now that we've done the dictionary ones. For me, creativity is the overall ability and willingness to create something from nothing on a regular basis. And imagination is the well from which you draw on those possibilities to create. So for me, imagination is all the possibilities. So the larger that loop is, the more material you have to create with. Therefore, by my definitions, imagination is about actively seeking to avoid closing the loop of creative possibilities. This means in your everyday life, trying not to rule out ideas, possibilities, thoughts, scenarios, all sorts of things. The more you rule out as, no, that's not realistic, that could never happen, that's a silly idea, the more you close off the loop of your imagination. So, how can you widen the loop of imagination? How can you expand the circle of creative possibilities? Now, this might sound negative, but my advice is be incredibly cynical about people, situations, human nature, and life overall. I find that there are often more creative possibilities in what's the worst that could happen rather than what's the best that could happen. Again, I'm not suggesting you adopt this as any sort of personal development mantra or theory of life. This is purely for writer use only, purely for imagination expansion use only is what's the worst that could happen. Please don't turn your life into what's the worst that could happen. So this is just to expand your writer's imagination. Next advice, constantly be observing and learning. When you have knowledge and information, you have as a foundation for your observations, which build your imagination. So when you have knowledge and information, what you have is a foundation for your observations, and that is what builds your imagination. You have the context to build all that on. Knowledge and information acts as a base for your imagination. So read those books, watch those documentaries and movies, nonfiction and fiction. Immerse yourself in the world that we live in and how it came to be. Build that foundation, and it will add wings to your imagination. Also, exercise that thing that especially my fellow women, we try to keep ourselves from doing, the dreaded word, overthinking. I get accused of that a lot. Overthink on purpose. Gasp. Do it on purpose in random situations, preferably when you're not stressed, because really when you find yourself in a state of stress, that's the bad kind of overthinking. That can lead to the real bad spirals. So when you're not feeling stressed, just, regular day, you're feeling, pretty happy and content about life, train your brain in those most mundane life moments to see all the things that can happen. Like at a traffic intersection or a restaurant, start saying, what if this person did this? And what if? That what if question is a great imagination expander. Expand your imagination's ability to see all the possibilities in life by practicing seeing the possibilities. Anything that we want to do well, we have to practice. So if you want to use your imagination and creativity well, you have to practice expanding it. Just remember to turn your overthinking button off afterward before you do stress yourself out thinking of all the anxiety producing stuff. Another thing you can do is writing prompts. Google writing prompts, PTS, writing prompts on Google, and you'll find just a ton of different things that, writing exercises that you can practice. And the point of those exercises is to come up consistently with scenarios and situations, whether involving yourself or imaginary characters. So that's another great way of exploring what if is through writing prompts. Creativity and imagination, like writing, both require practice, which means daily conditioning. Keep expanding the possibilities of what if, what could happen next, and in doing so, you'll expand your imagination and your creativity in the process. Be sure and drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook to let me know what you think of this and other episodes, and to let us know how your imagination practice is going. Also, we offer motivation, accountability, book writing, publishing resources, and more. That is Inc. Authors on Facebook. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And if you know someone else who wants to write a book, please let them know about the show. Thank you, and until tomorrow, happy writing.